Today, I'm digging into the story of Centralia, the Pennsylvania ghost town that set the scene for the 2006 horror film Silent Hill, which was based on a video game series of the same name. Since the movie's release, Centralia has attracted tourists from around the world, hoping to get a rush from setting foot inside the real Silent Hill. But what they find in Centralia is even scarier than cults or alternate realities. Instead, they're confronted with a town forever haunted by the ghosts of its tragic and terrifying past. If you like horror movies and video games, Silent Hill is a must-play. It's spooky and atmospheric, and the movie adaptation is no different. It follows a woman named Rose, whose adopted daughter Sharon keeps sleepwalking to the edge of a cliff, repeating Silent Hill like it's her mantra. Rose figures she'll indulge Sharon's sleep-talking. When she finds out Silent Hill is a real place, she takes her daughter there so Sharon can face her nightmares. But on the way there, Sharon goes missing. As Rose frantically tries to find Sharon in Silent Hill, she finds herself trapped in an alternate reality, like a prisoner of the town's dark, twisted past. The game is set in the fictional American town of Silent Hill, but that town wasn't necessarily based on anywhere specific. In a 1999 interview, the game's director and designer said, "We deliberately did not use an actual place, since it might cause inconsistency with the real thing." But when it came time to adapt the game for the big screen, the film's director, Christoph Gans, had other ideas. He wanted the film Silent Hill to be based on a real place. The screenwriter Roger Avery had an ancestor with ties to Centralia, a small mining town with its own dark lore. And the more that Christoph Gans looked into Centralia, the more he was hooked by the town's creepy and tragic past. It was Saturday, February 14th, 1981, Valentine's Day. But 12-year-old Todd Domboski didn't really care about all that. He lived just a few houses down from his grandmother, Carrie, and on this day, Todd was on his way to help her. Carrie had just seen a group of suspicious-looking men come out of her neighbor's house. They definitely freaked Carrie out, so there was no way she was going anywhere near them. So she called her daughter, Todd's mom, and naturally it fell on Todd to go check it out. He ran through a few yards towards his neighbor's house, hell-bent on getting the scoop. But before he got there, a strange sight stopped him dead in his tracks. Up ahead, a slight curl of smoke was rising out of a small pile of sticks and leaves on the ground. That caught Todd off guard. It looked like a campfire, but there was no one there. He carefully walked towards the spot where the smoke was. Then he realized the smoke was actually coming out of a small hole in the ground. Before Todd could fully process what he was seeing, the ground under his feet collapsed. I have literally had nightmares about this exact thing, but for Todd, it wasn't a dream. It was real. Todd was pulled into the narrow, muddy hole up to his waist, then his eyes. In a matter of seconds, there was 3 feet of hole between the top of Todd's head and solid ground above. The more Todd tried to claw his way out of the hole, the more he was sucked down into the dark pit. Todd screamed for help, and as he did, a cloud of hot, rancid steam shot up from the bottom of the hole and blotted out the sky above. Before he was completely swallowed up, Todd managed to grab onto a tree root and hold on. And that was when he saw his 16-year-old cousin Eric, who'd poked his head through the thick, choking steam to try and rescue Todd. Todd grabbed Eric's hand. Eric exhausted every muscle, pulling his cousin's slippery, mud-soaked body out of the sinkhole. He rushed Todd away from the smoking hole, careful not to trigger any new sinkholes in the process. Once they were a safe distance away, Todd flopped onto the ground. He tried to get control of his breathing, but something felt a little off, like maybe he inhaled something dangerous. Todd's grandmother ran over to her muddy, shaking grandson. She urged him to go back and find those men that he just saw who might have seemed a little bit suspicious and tell them what had just happened to him. Because she and everyone else knew why her grandson was nearly just killed. That coal mine fire had been burning underground for the last 20 years. And it was about time the government finally figured out the right way to stop it. Naturally, stories where people were being eaten by a place they should feel safe in would be the perfect place to base a horror film.
If you're brave enough, subscribe now. Just search for @Crimehouse Studios on YouTube. And remember, reality is the real horror.